Hi everyone, welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I am broadcasting to you live from beautiful Budapest, Hungary. I'm just setting up a couple of features here to make sure that it's all smooth. Can everybody hear me and see me okay? Hi Shanu, hi Vanity, hi Preeti, good to see you joining into class. Hi Kesey, good to see so many people in here. All right, kicking off this week today with some listening practice and strategy. We are focusing on listening part 1 and 2. These materials are coming from our websites. We are looking at test number 5 today from our second exam book on our websites. We'll use those in today's class. So for academic IELTS, do check us out at aehelp.com. And for general IELTS, visit us at IELTShelp.com. Of course, it's very important that you're clear on which IELTS you need to do. Do not confuse these because that will be a very negative surprise if you find out that you did the wrong IELTS, okay? If you're going to university, you will need to do the academic IELTS. If you're going for immigration or work, in most cases, you'll have to do the general IELTS exam, so be clear on that. Okay, everyone. So we are still promoting our partner speaking on our websites for absolutely free. You can find IELTS speaking partners on both of these websites now. When you log in, you can register a free demo account and you can click on student partner speaking. And to promote this, we're giving a discount for our premium course as well. Of course, the feature is in the premium course. So if you use the code partner30 on these websites, you will get a 30% discount from that premium course. You can get our books from Amazon, academic books, search for AE Helps Academic IELTS. General books, search for GE Helps General IELTS. In some countries, it's just electronic form, but in many countries, you can get the paperback copies of our books as well. And if you have questions, comments, concerns about IELTS or our products, just email me, Adrian, that's my name, Adrian, at aehelp.com. And you also have writing and speaking on the websites, as I've just mentioned. Here's just a quick look. I'm going to scroll through of our schedule. So we'll be doing speaking and task 2 and more listening this week. The next week we'll do more speaking, task 1 charts, reading strategy. Members still looking for a request class for the 22nd. So Parth, Jot, Preeti, Shanu, I see you're in class right now. Please send me a request for the 22nd, okay? Hi, Eugene. Good to see you in class also. All right, and then here is the schedule for the remainder of December. Of course, as most of you know, this month is full of holidays in the West, Christmas, globally, New Year's coming up as well. So that is our class schedule. I've pasted that into the community chat on our channel as well, so you can find the schedule there, okay? Also, kind of a cool announcement today. There is a new mock speaking video up on our channel that I just put up this morning, my time, for a candidate from Russia, so speaking candidate from Russia. You can check that out on the channel as well. She does an amazing job on her IELTS speaking interview, and there's an explanation of why. So just a reminder, after this class, if you're still really adamant to put in a hard day of IELTS study, check out that Russian IELTS speaking interview. Okay. All right. Okay, but today, for this class, it's not about the speaking, it's about the listening. So today we'll be looking at test number 5, again, coming out of book number 2, this listening practice here. And we are using our websites for this, so I'm just going to jump over to our websites. The academic website, when you go to our page, aehelp.com, will look like this. And you log in at the top here. If you have a My Student account, and when you log in, then you have access to the interactive course, the 6 full practice exams, over 100 hours of video lessons, and of course all the CDs that go for the listening sections. Now, again, notice this new feature here just real quick. This is again to help all of you. It's student partner speaking. You can click on that and then audio or audio video, just like Skype or WhatsApp, chat with another student, okay? Make sure to keep that window open so you give a chance for other people to go online and find you as an active user, okay? Lots of students are using that since we launched it last week. Okay, ladies and gents, get your pencil and your paper ready for some listening warm-up. We're going to start with section 1 for test number 5. So it's coming out of CD number 5. Please, ladies and gentlemen, do not write your answers into the chat. Give everybody a fair chance. We'll go through the answers together at the end. So just write your answers on the paper and you can share them after we finish with the listening. Also, I'm turning the audio max on my side and I'm playing it through my microphone. So if it's quiet for you, I suggest using a headset or turning up your volume, okay? I'm doing the best that I can with the setup that I have. So here we go, 3, 2, 1. Hope everybody is ready, steady, and go. Just one moment, gotta switch the audio over.
There will be time.
Okay, here we go.
This recording is copyrighted by 2 Think One Solutions Inc. and World ESL Tutors. You will hear several different recordings, and you will answer questions on what you hear. There will be time given to read the instructions and questions, and you will be given a chance to check your work. The recordings will be played only once. The test is made up of 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to section 1. Listening section 1. You will hear a conversation between 2 people as one tries to return a defective product. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example. This time only, the conversation relating to this question will be played.
Good afternoon. I bought a product from your store 1 week ago, and I've been having difficulties getting it to work properly.
Of course, sir. Do you have the original receipt from the purchase? The first piece of information I need is the date you purchased the product.
Yes, I actually have it right here. I purchased it 8 days ago, on the 6th of July.
The 6th of July. Great.
The man says he purchased the item on July 6th, so this answer has been indicated for you. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good afternoon. I bought a product from your store 1 week ago, and I've been having difficulties getting it to work properly.
Of course, sir. Do you have the original receipt from the purchase? The first piece of information I need is the date you purchased the product.
Yes, I actually have it right here. I purchased it 8 days ago, on the 6th of July.
The 6th of July. Great. I also need the name of the product as indicated on the receipt.
Certainly. The receipt shows it as SOJO 232XD.
SOJO 232XD?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, yes. I see the product in my records now. It is a 23-inch computer monitor?
Yes, that's correct.
Now tell me, did you buy the extended warranty on the monitor?
No, I did not. I always feel like those warranties are a bit of a scam.
Perhaps, until you need the warranty?
Perhaps. But there must be some sort of manufacturer's warranty, right?
There may be. Let me check for you. Okay. Yes, it seems there is a manufacturer's warranty. The warranty is for 60 days, 2 months.
Great, then I shouldn't encounter any problems in returning it.
Well, actually, we only accept returns for a week after purchase. Since you purchased the computer monitor 8 days ago, you'll have to deal directly with the manufacturer.
How annoying. What steps must I take then?
Well, the company that makes the monitor has a depot in Birmingham. You must post it to them.
Okay, do you have their address?
Yes, it's on Edgbaston Park Road and...
Hold on, you'll have to spell Edgbaston for me. I've never heard of it.
Of course. It is spelled EDGBASTON.
And then the rest of the address?
The address number is 89 and the unit number is 5.
Okay, so 89 Edgbaston Park Road, Unit 5.
That's right. And the postcode is B152RU.
B152RU?
That's right.
You now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 6 to 10.
Great, but one concern I have is the cost of posting something as large as a computer monitor.
Indeed. Such a product must weigh a few kilos and will certainly set you back some money to post. Let me see if the company takes such a problem into consideration.
Well, that would certainly be nice if they did.
Yes, it seems they do. They have a program in place where they pay postage for the exchange of goods under manufacturer warranty or product recall.
That's great news. What do I have to do to use this service?
It's fairly simple. You just call their Birmingham depot and request a prepaid postage voucher. Then you take the item to the post office along with the voucher, and the post office will take care of the rest.
Sounds simple enough. Do you have a phone number for the depot in Birmingham?
Yes, you can reach them on 0121 496 0633. Oh, and be sure to call during business hours. They're open from 10 in the morning until 6 in the evening.
10 until 6, understood. One final question. What would I have had to do to return the monitor if I had purchased the extended warranty from your store?
Well, the process would have been much simpler, sir. You could have simply brought it into the return desk at your local store. We would have given you your choice of a new monitor, your cash back, or store credit in the amount of 110% of the original cost of the item.
110% store credit? Wow, that seems too good to be true.
Well, company policy is that we want satisfied customers, and when they are not satisfied, we feel the need to compensate them for this in some small measure.
Perhaps next time I'll buy the extended warranty. How much would it have cost on the monitor I bought?
Only £20.
£20 would have been well worth it to save me the trouble of dealing directly with the manufacturer.
Well, now you know, sir.
Indeed I do. Thanks again.
That is the end of section 1. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, class. So that is a very typical section 1 type of listening for the IELTS. Now, some of you, as you're doing this and watching this, might have been thinking, wow, Adrian, I think you lost your mind because in the beginning there, you were scrolling all over the place like a madman. I assure you, I did not lose my mind, contrary to some belief. I was doing that on purpose. Why was I doing that? Anybody? Does anybody know why I did a bit of scrolling and jumping around there? What kind of a strategy was I applying to help me bump my score a little bit? Anybody? What was I actually doing there? So this is a listening strategy that I want to teach you because it can definitely help you to pick up a couple of extra points. Yeah, some of you are noticing that I've got a little bit of a new look going. I don't have a beard and a mustache. I was surprised to see my own face the other day in the mirror. Amira Zahid says, oh, so we could read faster. Not quite. That wasn't really it. That wasn't my goal. I just lost the chat, so let me refresh that. Okay. Okay, let's see. So Shakita Pereira says, to get an idea of all the questions. Close. And then Patricio Lordela says, to know the topics of the other sections. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And Ruby says, catching the keywords. That's kind of close as well. So use the instruction time, which is roughly 80 seconds, okay? So you can time this, but it's roughly 80 seconds, to take a peek at the topic, and if you're a good reader, maybe some keywords of section 3 and 4. Now, I've heard some students in IELTS say, well, when I try to do that, the proctor, the examiner in the IELTS says, oh, don't do that, please turn back to section 1. But then I heard many other students who said, oh, I did that, and the proctor or the examiner did not say anything. They were okay with that. So there is no clear rule that you can't jump to section 3 and section 4 and have a look at it when that instruction time is going. The audio does say now turn to section 1 and follow the instructions carefully, but it doesn't say you cannot turn to section 3 or you cannot turn to section 4. So there is no clear rule on this. It's kind of a gray area, and you can take advantage of this gray area because if you look at section 3, look at section 4 in that 80 seconds to get the idea of the topic, then you might have a much better chance of answering those questions. Remember, section 3, section 4, they're more difficult, okay? They're more difficult topics. So it's good to be able to visualize and get the ideas of the topic in your head before it begins, okay? Now, does anybody remember what section 3 and section 4 were about? So when I scrolled there, some of you might have thought Adrian's going nuts, and some of you might have said, I think Adrian is trying to show me something. Did anybody catch the topic for section 3 and section 4? Let's see how many of you were cleverly paying attention there. So what was section 3 topic? Whoop. How about section 4? Okay, did you get it? Did you get what those were? Let's see. Anybody catch section 3, section 4? I'm looking at the chat, not seeing any of the answers coming up just yet. Don't worry, we'll get to these section 1 answers as well. I'm sure you have them written down, so they're not going to be changing anytime soon. So anybody catch any of those key words of section 3 and section 4? Section 3 topic, if you have it, all right, it should match with mine, was about taxes. That was the key word that jumped up a few times if you look carefully. And Section 4, there was a very clear name at the top of Section 4. I'm still looking, I don't see them. Section 4 was about Michelangelo, the famous painter, architect, right? So Michelangelo, sculptor. Yeah, so taxes and Michelangelo. Now, if you figured out that, Section 3 is about taxes, Section 4 is about Michelangelo, and you have this in your head, you're going to do a lot better when you get to Section 3 and Section 4. Why? Because Section 3, Section 4 are more difficult, okay? Students usually get, keep this in mind, students usually get 4 to 5 times more answers wrong in section 3 and 4 than section 1 and 2. So guess what that means? Of course, because they're more difficult, but that means so you have to try to get as many answers correct in section 1 and 2 as possible. Okay, because your error rates will go up in section 3 and 4. So ideally, you're going to get 9 or 10 of the answers correct in section 1 and at least 8 or 9 hopefully correct in section 2. So this is why you kind of want to have a little bit of a forecast or prediction for section 3 and 4. Okay, I know you're antsy and you want to get to these answers, so let's get to them. Now, we had a little bit of break in between to help as well. Here we go. So choose the correct letters A, B, or C. What day did the man buy the product? July 6th. That was the example that's given for you. Please do not write that into your answer sheet for number 1 because then your numbers will mismatch. I've seen students do that before. That's not good. All right. Number 1, what product did the man purchase? So what did the man purchase? Okay, what did the man buy for number 1? The answer that you're coming up with, most of you, is B, a computer monitor. That is the correct answer. He explains what was wrong with it as well. So the correct answer is B. So in your box number 1 on your answer sheet, you put the big letter B. I always tell students, don't put the small letter B. Sometimes people are a little bit dyslexic and they put the letter D instead, and that would be wrong, of course. So capital letter B, you avoid that mistake. So capital letter B, and you keep rocking and rolling. Okay, it was a computer monitor. A computer and a computer monitor are not the same idea, so please do not put A. You will get it wrong. Okay, television is not a computer monitor either. Those are different products. Okay, this is very clear from the conversation. It's throughout the first part. What 2 pieces of information are required to access the record of the purchase? Now notice that this is question 2 and 3. So that means that this is for 2 marks. Okay, so you'll have the box 2 and 3 like this. And the order doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one you put in there, but it has to be the correct one. So Jod says, well, the correct answer there was A and C. This is wrong. Okay, A is absolutely not the correct answer, so you'd get that one wrong. C is also wrong. Let's see what else people have. It was not A and E. So what 2 pieces of the information are required to access the record of the purchase, okay, of the purchase? SOJO232XD is only one of the many different products that the store has. So clearly the name of the product is one of the pieces of information, and the other piece of information is the purchase date. So here the correct answers were E and F. Now, some of you might be angry at this point and ripping up your paper and going, man, I can't get these questions wrong on part 1. If I get these wrong, I'm in big trouble. Yeah, you definitely should not be getting E and F wrong here. You should not be losing 2 marks so early. This is where your critical thinking, your analytical thinking is really important, okay? So the right question is being asked by Pradeep Padu. Why are they wrong, okay? You need to give the best answers here. And the best answers are purchase date and name of the product. And we get these 2 answers from the first 2 questions, or from the example in question 1. So if you look at question 1 in the example, look at what day did the man buy the product? Why does the woman ask, or what question does the woman ask? The woman asks the man, when did you buy the product? Why is she asking that? Because she needs the date of purchase to look up what was sold on that day, okay? Now, okay, so she's got the date. She needs more information. What's the other piece of information she needs? The product itself, which is a computer monitor, and to be more specific, the name of that product, which is the SOJO something unit, right? So these questions help me to answer the second and third question correctly. So logic can be very important, and be careful not to fall into a trap when something seems too good to be true, okay? So a little bit more of a tip here for you going along, okay? And in your review time, use logic. Okay, so use the other questions. The questions are interconnected. They can help you to figure out the correct answer, all right? So they're interconnected. Use them, especially part 1, okay? All right, let's get back to it. Question 4 and 5. So 4 and 5, these were fill in the blanks, right? It's a form completion type question. When you're looking at this form completion type question in the section 1 of your listening, be patient, because most of the time they will repeat this information and spell it out twice, okay? Sometimes even 3 times. So be patient, all right? Number 4 was the name of a road, so it has to be capital. What was the name? I see some answers coming up. Okay, it was Edge Bastion, and the man asked the woman to spell it, so hopefully you were patient. Man Randhawa says Edge Bastion, all capitals, and that is correct. That's a correct answer, man. So you're saying it should be Edge Bastion. Okay. Now, good spelling there. So either like this, or you can have it as Edge Bastion, like that. This first letter, the E, must be capital because it's the name. If you write it as a small e, you will get it wrong, okay? Also, some of you probably know the edge, like the edge of a table. Edge is spelled like this, E-D-G-E. So here you have to be careful and listen to the spelling, because you'll notice that there's no E here, okay? There's no E between the G and the B. So if you're being too quick and too clever and you write an E between the G and the B, you'll get it wrong, all right? So don't rush, okay? Slow and steady wins the race in the IELTS listening. It's the story of the rabbit and the turtle, right? The rabbit's running really, really fast and then keeps stopping, keeps getting distracted, even takes a little bit of a nap at one point. The turtle just nice and calm, moving along, putting along, keeping that finish line in mind, and eventually wins the race, even though the rabbit technically is much faster. So another expression, and this is one of my wife's favorite expressions with me, of course, is slower is sometimes faster. So it's true that slower is sometimes faster. So be careful with that, okay? Just going to switch up pens here. So Edge Bastion for number 4, okay? And for number 5, it was the postcode. Let's see who got that. See who got that postcode. Shanzai Khan says it's B152RU, and there are about 6 or 7 other people. Vanity, good to see you get the right answer as well. Shanu, you got the wrong spelling on that name. Double check it. And Bibas Roshni, Sakita, Amira, you are doing great, Preeti. Good for you. Yeah, it was B1, and good for using the capitals. Okay, you're smart for doing that. 152RU is great. Use capitals for those last 2 as well. Okay, make them more clear. Usually we write postal codes with capital letters. Okay, so make sure to do the same. It's more clear in your answer as well. All right, let's keep moving along. Number 6 and 7, fill in the blanks, complete the sentences. No more than 3 words for each answer. In order to get free delivery on product returns, the customer must telephone the depot and request a prepaid. Okay, if you know the words, great. If not, they were repeated twice. So it says no more than 3 words. So you have a good idea that it might be a couple of words here. And word form is very important on this one. Roshni Kunte has the first correct answer. Sakita Pereira, you were close, but your word form is off on the first word, so that's why you won't get that. It's not a post voucher, it's a postage. Okay, that's because for post, the adjective is with the AGE. Okay, this is the adjective form. Another way to use that is postage stamp. Okay, so I know that's old school for many people these days, but if you actually send a physical snail mail envelope and you put your postage on it, you use a postage stamp. It's not a post stamp, it's a postage stamp, okay? So postage voucher. Voucher coming out of French, that word. So you have to answer that correctly, okay? It's not a postage brochure, Shanzai, it's a postage voucher, okay? So you got to be really careful. Yeah, IELTS is about details. It's checking to make sure that you're paying attention to details. So it's easy to be very confident but still be wrong, okay? Be careful. Mary Santosh, my name is Adrian, and if you have IELTS questions, you can email me at adrian@aehelp.com. What is the phone number for the depot? Number 7. What was that phone number? Ladies and gents. Okay, yeah, a lot of you are getting the right answer. Your message is just being hidden because YouTube does not want you sharing phone numbers. It's a privacy thing, but I can allow it here, so I can see that many of you have the correct answers, okay? So a lot of you are saying it's 0121-496-0633. All right. Vanity Sean, good to see you get that correct answer, okay? So 0121 4960. Now this came quite quickly and they didn't repeat this answer. That's because it's just numbers. There's no letters. It was quite clear. And IELTS expects that somebody who is a band 5 or higher should be able to catch a string of 9, 10 numbers. Credit cards are 12 numbers without necessarily having to repeat. Okay? Okay. All right. So 0, 1, 2, 1, 4, 9, 6, 0, 6, 3, 3. All right. We're on the same page. Good. So, ladies and gents, moving on to the last couple of questions here. Let's see what they are. Drum roll, please. Multiple choice. All right, multiple choice, number 8. For how many hours is the depot open each day? So this was a comprehension question. You had to understand the opening hours, when it opens, when it closes, and then do a little bit of quick math to figure out the correct answer. So the correct answer, and it's already coming up from a few of you, Sakita and Bekjan Omirzak, nice answer. Mitesh, nice answer as well. The answer is B. Make sure that, again, in your space, so question 8 on your answer sheet, please do not put 8, okay? So please don't write the number. You'll get it wrong, all right? You have to actually put the letter. It's multiple choice, so you're choosing the correct letter, not the number. Don't let that confuse you. I've seen students do that. Don't make silly mistakes. Review. Take a look at questions when you're transferring answers on the answer sheet, okay? Correct answer is B, and that came from that calculation of 10 to 6, I believe. So they said 10 in the morning until 6 in the afternoon, and as we know, that is 8 hours of operations. So the depot is open for 8 hours, okay? Some quick math there. B is correct. Multiple choice, you should try to answer on your own in your own mind. This question was also repeated twice. They said this one twice. Okay? All right, question number 9. Notice that this is just one question. Okay? So that means that you're going to have your box in your answer sheet, question number 9, and it says which 3 options are customers given. You have to get all 3 of these correct. Okay, now again, logic is a good friend here. You can figure this out, and a lot of it's emphasized. So some of you are saying the answers are D, E, and F. F is definitely not correct. So Bibash, Sakita, if you write F, unfortunately you get all of them wrong, even though you got D and E correct. Okay, so D and E are right. Makes sense, right? Product's defective, here it is, give me a new one or give me my money back. So give me a new one, give me my money back. And E is kind of the strange one, but they talk about that strange one, right? So the woman says, well, our customers are important to us, so we want to give them something a little bit more, right? So the answers are A, D, and E. Okay. And Man Randhawa seems to have gotten that one correct as well, which is great. Ruby P also got that correct. Sandeep, good job. All right, so your computer monitor is broken. You paid for the warranty. What can you get? You can get a new one. Here we go. You need this monitor. There's one that works. Sorry about that. Here's your money back. Or, hey, you can come back to the store at another time and we'll give you 110% for that monitor. So if it costs you $500, you can shop for $550 in the store. Okay? All 3 must be correct. They must all be in blank 9 on your answer sheet to get that answer. Okay, let's check the last one. Good job, Preeti, for getting that correct. Question number 10. Choose the correct letters A, B, or C. The woman mentions an item that costs 20 pounds. This was kind of an easy give me. What is this item? Is it the computer monitor? Is it the extended warranty? Or is it the manufacturer's warranty? Now, she is working for the store, so most likely the best answer has to be B, the extended warranty, okay? The man is using the manufacturer's warranty, so he has that anyway. Manufacturer warranties are usually free and included. You don't usually pay for a manufacturer's warranty on items. At least nowhere I've traveled to in the world have I seen anybody have to pay for a manufacturer warranty. So it's usually the extended warranty or extended coverage that people need to pay for. Computer monitor, hey, if you can buy a brand new quality computer monitor for 20 bucks, let me know. I've never seen one, especially one that's not hot, hasn't been stolen or lifted. So A, absolutely not. C, most likely not if you think logically. Okay, so B here is the right answer. Okay, class. Now, just one more note here. Mary Santosh, you can pay for our IELTS program in many ways. That's a good question. On our website, you can pay with a major credit card through PayPal. Or if you don't have PayPal or a credit card, you can send us an email and we can let you know Western Union or bank transfer details to help you out, okay? All right. So, ladies and gents, just one more really important point that I've kept in my mind all this time. There were these 10 questions here, right? And I want to show you something here, okay? This information here was repeated at least twice. So if you listen to this audio again, if you do have our full course, you'll notice that this piece of information is repeated twice in the audio, okay? This piece of information is repeated twice in the audio. This piece of information is repeated twice in the audio. This piece of information is repeated twice in the audio. So in section 1, and even here, the information is repeated twice for 2 of the 3 items. So in section 1, often 50 to 60%, so 5 or 6 of the questions, the answers are repeated twice, sometimes even a third time for some of these. So don't rush. Keep in mind that there's a lot of repetition that happens in section 1 to make sure that you do get as much of those correct as possible if you have good English skills, okay? So patience is good. Of course, that repetition decreases as you go along. So in section 2, there's less repetition. Section 3, very little repetition. Section 4, usually no repetition. And section 4, there's actually no time between the questions. So section 1, 2, 3, you have an extra break between questions 5, 6. For section 4, there's no break. So no repetition, no break in section 4. That's one of the ways that the difficulty increases, okay? I see a new member. Oh, Begzod, that's you. Okay, we've had lots of email exchanges, and now you're a member. Thank you, Begzod, for joining us. Remember to send me that email so I can set you up with the practice exams. And make sure to request classes too, Begzod. Okay, ladies and gents, good job so far. Let's hop over to section 2. We're going to do that today as well, so we'll go through it nice and smooth. Get your pencil and your paper ready. Again, please do not write your answers into the chat. Give everybody a fair chance. Play nice with each other. We will go over the answers nice and quick afterwards, so just write down your answers. Pay attention, okay? Don't think, hey, this is too easy, or don't think, hey, this is way too difficult. Just find that middle ground and do your best, okay? Do your best. Here we go. So now back into our website, CD number 5, as this is test number 5. Listening section 2, 3, 2, 1, ready, set, and go.
Now turn to section 2. Take some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Listening Section 2. You will hear a recording of a radio news magazine discussing the importance of doing good in the community. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully to the interview and answer questions 11 to 16.
Hello, I'm Emma Robertson, and I'd like to welcome our listeners to Beyond the Lens, the programme that aims to dig deeper on issues in culture and society. Today we have Professor Hudson McMahon from the University of Bristol's Department of Social Policy. Hello, Professor McMahon. Do you want to tell us a little about what you'll be presenting today?
Of course, Emma. But first, I'd like to thank you for having me on the show. My wife and I are both avid listeners of Beyond the Lens, and it's a bit of a thrill to be on the show. But I digress. Today, I want to talk about the importance of doing good in the community and in society. There are many ways of doing this, but the two most common ways are volunteering and giving to charity. However, these methods of improving community and society have an important difference. While volunteering one's time is almost always a positive for society, giving to charity is significantly more problematic.
Problematic, Professor McMahon? It would seem to me that giving to charity is always a positive for society. We celebrate those among us who are the greatest donors to charity.
Yes, and in general, it is warranted. I do want to clarify. In general, giving to charity is good, but one must be very careful for two reasons. First, some charities do not do sufficient amounts of charitable good per pound. And second, some charities receive too much money that could be spent better on other causes. Let me discuss each of these in turn.
This seems to me a rather radical thesis.
It seems that way, but I hope to convince you otherwise by the end of the program. Now, getting back to charities. Some charities simply do not give a lot of their received monies to the actual performance of good acts. For instance, some charities utilize less than 10% of their donations on actual charitable activities. The rest goes to salaries, promotion, and other overhead costs. So for a donation of £100, it may be the case that less than £10 actually goes to helping someone.
That sounds terrible, but it still helps people, right?
Well, yes, but as charitable givers, we should try and reward those charities who do most good with the least amount of money. By that I mean that those thinking of donating to charity should do research on a charity before giving to the cause. There are other charities where more than 50% of donations go to the end cause. These charities are much more deserving of your patronage.
You now have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 17 to 20.
Another reason to be discerning when it comes to your choice of charities is what I call the relative utility of a charitable donation.
Let me take a guess here, Professor McMahon. Is the relative utility of a donation how much good it does relative to other donations?
That's just about it, Emma. The relative utility of a donation is how much good a donation does per amount spent. For instance, the disease MND, motor neuron disease, was in the news in recent years, and MND charities received a windfall of donations. This sounds all well and good, but there is a problem. Unlike, say, heart disease, MND does not affect very many people. While it would be wonderful to cure the disease, there are better allocations of our limited charity funds.
Wait, so you're saying it was bad for people to give to MND charities?
Not quite, only that it was suboptimal. Because there is limited supply of money given to charity each year, it is important that it is used at least somewhat optimally. And allocating overwhelming amounts of money to a disease that affects very low percentage of people is extremely suboptimal.
That's very interesting, Professor McMahon. So how can our listeners try and optimize their charitable gifts?
First of all, don't be caught up in viral social media campaigns. Instead, use such moments to remind yourself of the importance of giving to charity in general, and not just to niche causes with good promotion. And second, do your research. Before you donate, look up how much of a charity's donation go to the actual end goal. Additionally, look up how many people are affected by the charity's end cause. The more people there are affected, and the worse they are affected, the more likely you should be to donate to that cause. It is all about maximizing good in the world.
That certainly sounds like a noble goal, but if everyone donates...
That is the end of section 2. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay, everyone, so that is a possible section 2 in the IELTS listening. You might think, hey, that was a little bit tough, but it wasn't actually that bad. Again, I kind of warned you in the beginning not to stress out about it. Notice that there were different accents here. So one of them was a classic London British accent, and the other one was actually a New Zealand accent. The man's accent is New Zealand, if you're wondering about that. Don't be surprised. On IELTS, sometimes you may hear a Canadian, a New Zealand, or an Australian accent. Okay? All right. Let's go through these questions together. Hopefully you got a good number of these correct, and I'll show you how logic could really be your friend in this case as well. So number 11, what is the name of the radio show? So Jod Singh says the name of the radio show is Beyond the Lens. Jod, you're almost there. You're almost there. They repeat this twice. Okay, so it was mentioned twice. Very quickly in the beginning, the radio show host says, "Welcome to Beyond the Lens." And then the professor says, my wife and I are avid listeners of Beyond the Lens. So both people in the conversation actually say the name of the show. It's 3 words, and in this case, you need all 3. Beyond the Lens. Okay, there's no E on the end. One of you wrote an E there. There's no E. So it's Beyond the Lens, 3 words like that, or all capital, Beyond the Lens. Okay, like that. These are correct. The L and the B have to be capitalized because it is the name of a show. So Shakita Pereira, unfortunately, you would not get that right just because the L is small. If you write a small L, you'll get it all wrong. Okay, so make sure to have a capital B, capital L. It's the name of a radio show. Names are proper nouns. It's a strict English rule in writing. You have to get it right. Okay, Beyond the Lens. I think a lot of students are wondering, why is English so strict with these rules, with commas and capitalizations, periods, where the space is, where the space is not. And I guess that many of you probably realize, well, there are reasons for this, right? So when somebody's reading, it right away gives them information. They know right away that, okay, this is the name of something. It's unique, okay? So there's an extra valuable piece of information there. And English is the global language. So as people move around the world and adopt English as their first or second language or the language of business, it's really important that we try to keep as much structure and clarity as possible. Otherwise, if IELTS is not as strict as this, or TOEFL or other exams, then what happens is the quality of language and literature deteriorates, and it actually causes a lot of harm in society. So you might think that, I hate these guys for being so strict with these rules, but there is logic to this madness, okay? So there is reasoning behind the strict rules of spelling and punctuation. Okay, so here you have applies to volunteering and applies to charitable giving and applies to neither. And some of you are probably thinking, oh, this was a really hard question. But you know what? Hey, I disagree. I don't think it's that hard. I think if you used good logic, if you used some quick thinking, you could figure out these answers even without listening. Did everybody just catch that? What I just said? I said you can probably figure out the correct answer to all 4 of these without even listening to the audio. Do you agree with me or not? If you know the meaning of volunteering and charity or charitable giving, you can figure out these 4 without listening. Okay, you could actually turn the audio off and still answer these questions. Abdel Wahab says, I don't agree. Well, let me prove that to you. Okay. All right. What is volunteering? So what does the word volunteering actually mean? Volunteering means to give one's time, right? So if you go to a children's hospital and you play with the sick children, or if you go to an elderly home and you take an elderly person for a walk, you're not giving charity, but you're volunteering. You're giving your time, you're working for free, okay? So that's volunteering, all right? Applies to charitable giving means you give money. Okay, so that's a very important difference between volunteering and charity. Charity is about giving money so that other people work and do something positive. So for example, if you send $100 for people to go to some poor countries and deliver food, then you're giving to charity. You're not volunteering, okay? Now, if you understand the meaning here, then you can figure these out, okay? So, affects fewer people, but may be highly inefficient. So, does charity affect few people? No, not necessarily. If I donate $1 million, it will definitely affect a lot of people. Is volunteering highly inefficient? No, volunteering is very efficient. If you go to a children's hospital and you read stories to children and make them smile and be happy, let me tell you, you're being extremely efficient in raising the positive morale of society. So this one here is clearly C. Okay? Even if I don't listen to the audio, logic dictates that this one has to be C. Okay? So neither charity nor volunteering affect few people and is highly inefficient. Okay? Neither of those two. All right? Has to be A. Okay? Just logically. If I know the meaning of these two and I understand this sentence, then it's clear. And this is where some of you might have been really angry when you listened to this audio and said, oh, well, I couldn't get this because I couldn't understand what the guy was saying. His accent was really, really difficult. His pronunciation was difficult for me. Well, the IELTS examiners will say, you know what? It's too bad, because even if you don't understand what the guy was saying, if you understand the question and you understand these 2 words, you can get that correct. So that's where IELTS will kind of tell you that it's not our fault, it's your fault. Number 13, can be problematic for various reasons. So can be a problem. If I go and give my time to children or to elderly people, is that going to be bad or wrong? Probably not. Let's be realistic. Of course, strange things can happen, accidents can happen, but generally speaking, there's no way that's going to be wrong, okay? So charity, if I give my money to an organization, which I think is doing some good somewhere in the world, Can that money be misused? Can it be invested in a bad way? Yes, absolutely. And it happens all the time. So I can see that a lot of you are saying that's got to be B. And Sandeep, Zeenath, Asil, you're absolutely correct. All right. B is the right answer. So charity can be a problem. Just giving money to an organization and saying, oh, yeah, no, they said that they were going to do something good. Like, give you a good example. If you visualize and you think logically, you're like, oh, Adrian, how can giving money be bad? Well, if you give money to a research company for cancer and you don't know, but they're testing on monkeys some terrible drugs, and these monkeys are suffering and painfully dying, then obviously you've given money for something that can be argued to be morally wrong, okay? And you said, oh, I was just giving money to cancer research. Well, yeah, but did you look to see how they're doing the research? So B, absolutely. Number 14. Okay, I'm just going into that detail because I want you to understand that logic. Is almost always a positive action for society. I just explained that. Okay, and number 14 is definitely A. Okay, so if you go and you take an elderly person for a walk tomorrow in a nursing home, I guarantee you that you will only be making people happy. Nobody's going to be angry at you for doing that. And if they are, there's something wrong with that person. Okay. Mayer, this is listening. Okay, we did the listening, and ironically, it was a good question. One of your fellow students just said, "Is this reading or is this listening?" It's both. Okay, the listening section in the IELTS is 3 parts. It's listening, it's reading, and it's thinking. Okay, it's logic. You're using your brain. IELTS is not just testing your English. You have to remember that. Okay. Last one is kind of a give me, subject to many overhead costs. They even talk about this. Preeti, thank you for that answer. Absolutely correct. It is, B. Right? So, charity. And then they actually talk about those overhead costs. So, charity has overhead costs. Overhead cost, if you're a business student, that's obviously a very common expression or collocation for you. Overhead cost, overhead, over your head, right? An overhead cost is every additional cost associated with your business that's not pure profit. So it's basically your gross minus your net. So your pay for rent, your pay for employees, your pay for merchandise, your pay for insurance, all of those are your overhead costs, okay? Those are your overhead costs. Charity obviously has that, right? Charities advertise, they have advertising costs, they have HR costs for personnel, they have travel expense costs, a lot of them, many of them, and so forth, right? Okay, and then here we go into a further question. What are 2 reasons charities can be inefficient? It's very important that you pay attention to the word inefficient. In means not efficient. When you understand this question, it helps you with that last one. So even if you didn't get those last 4 from your logic there, this is helping you to figure that out even more. Here's a really interesting idea for you to sleep on and to think about as you practice for your next IELTS exam. With good logic, roughly 40 to 50% of the questions in both the listening and the reading can be answered just from the questions and your own knowledge. So if you have good logic and a good system of logic, good critical thinking, it's incredible how many of these questions you can get correct, okay? So the 2 reasons charities can be inefficient could be A, okay, could be B, could be C. This cannot be the right answer because of the question. And this one, maybe. So 1 we can eliminate right away, D, just by understanding the question. Now here, what were the answers? Sandeep says it's B and E. Jasveer Singh agrees. B, yep, B was talked about a lot. They give less than 10% of the money received to the actual cause. Sure, okay? And the promotion of the charity is very expensive. That's a part of B, okay? Maybe, okay? I think it was E, okay, because this one's also part of B. So must pay salaries and the promotion of charity is the reason that they give less than 10% to the actual cause. So my logic tells me that B and E are the proper answers, okay? Because sometimes we donate to charities that really do strange things which are not important, like saving the rabbits in Central Park, okay? Well, arguably not as important. Okay, so here, logic tells me the best answers are B and E. Okay, notice how again I use logic. D is impossible according to the question. C and A are parts of B, so B and E are the two unique answers. Okay, if you didn't get that, watch the video again later on and notice how I do that. Okay. All right, let's have a look at this flow chart. Write the correct letter, A to G. Okay. It is a flow chart. It's a comparative flow chart. Notice how there's two branches, okay? One branch here, one branch here. Often when you have that, it's a versus, okay? So one against the other, all right? So here we have our right column, and this is a complete column. Again, notice the power of logic. Charity, heart disease, affects many people, good use of funds. Okay, so let's do opposites. What is something that affects the opposite? So affects many people. Let's do number 18 first. What's the answer for number 18? Is it few, inefficient, optimal, generous, very many, mind, cancer? So A, B, C, D, E, F, or G. Zina Mazana says it's few. It's A. Okay? Yeah, so this is few. In your answer sheet, make sure you write the letter A. Okay? So we have many. We have few. Okay, what's a disease that affects few people? Heart disease affects many people. What's a disease that affects many people for number 17? Well, what kind of diseases do we have here? We have cancer and we have MND. Which one affects few people? Well, it's got to be MND. Whatever that is, I'm not familiar with that disease. Obviously, it's few people. Cancer would be a bad answer. Obviously, cancer affects a lot of people, right? So, wouldn't make sense. Good use of funds. What's the opposite of good use of funds here for number 19? Okay, so again, we're looking for opposites. It is not a good use of funds, therefore it is what? Optimal. Zenith is wrong because optimal means good. Okay, inefficient would be the antonym or opposite here. Okay, so B. All right, so your answer here is F, A, and B. Okay, that's what goes into your answer sheets for blocks 17, 18, 19. Again, something interesting. I really didn't have to pay much attention to the audio. The answers came very clearly from logic, okay? So from the 10 questions in this listening, you could solve almost all of them just by logic, okay? If you're a very good critical thinker, then logic will help you. This is what our courses are designed to teach you, by the way. So the way that we've designed our courses on our websites is that they don't just teach you English, but they teach you this style of thinking that these exams are looking for, okay? Last question, ladies and gents. Question 20. Choose the correct letter A, B, or C. According to the guest, what is the main goal of charitable giving? Okay, forget about the guest. According to you, what is the main goal of charitable giving? What do you think? What's the main goal of charitable giving? Well, I think if I had to answer this question, if I didn't listen to the audio, I'd say, well, maximize good. So do the most good. If I can give $5 to help every poor person in the world at once. That would be ideal. It's only an illusion, of course, but that would be ideal, right? Vanity, thanks for that. Motor neuron disease, yeah. So C makes the most sense, so that's what I would give as the answer. All right, now, let's say I did that, and hey, maybe I didn't get them all right. Maybe my logic is flawed, and I got 1 or 2 wrong. Still, if I get 8 out of 10 on this, that's fantastic, okay? If I need to get band 7, 7.5, and my logic guides me to getting at least 7, 8 of these questions in part 2 correct, that's fantastic, okay? So let's have a look at the answer key, ladies and gents. Mark yourselves. All right, again, this is our exam book 2, test number 5. Answer keys are on page 156. Here we go. So there's the answers. Let's, for those students who are with us from the beginning, listening section, number 1 was B. Number 2 and 3 are E and F in any order. Okay. E and F in any order. Number 4, edge bastion, 1 word, spelt with a capital E. Do not give yourself a mark if you have a small e. Number 5 is B152RU. Don't worry about the space there, it doesn't matter. Postage voucher, not post voucher, postage voucher. 7 is 0121-496-0633. Again, don't worry about the spaces. Number 8 is B. Number 9 is ADE. Number 10 is B. Number 11, beyond the lens. Notice the capitals again. 12 is C. 13 is B. 14 is A. 15 is B. 16 is A and C in any order. Okay, got 1 wrong there. 17 is F. 18 is A. 19 is B. 20 is C. Okay, so just that 1 wrong, a little bit of flawed logic, or my logic disagrees with IELTS. It's not the end of the world. 1 wrong out of 10. Hey, I'll take that. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you will remember these very important skills that I taught you today when you're practicing at home. So remember to use the instruction time, roughly 80 seconds at the beginning of listening, to take a peek at the topic and some of the keywords in section 3 and 4. If the examiner says, hey, don't do that, turn back to section 1, don't argue with them, just do it. If they don't say anything, don't worry about it. It's a gray zone, okay? Now remember, section 3 and 4 are definitely more difficult than 1 and 2. So try to get as many of the answers correct in 1 and 2 as possible, all right? And a big tip for today, use logic, okay? In your review time, in the time to transfer answers to the answer sheet, make sure to use strong, good logic to help you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so again, this listening and this class and this information, you can find it all on our websites. If you're studying for academic IELTS, aehelp.com. If you're studying for general IELTS, gieltshelp.com. We're still promoting our new feature where you can talk to other students for free. Use code PARTNER30 to get a 30% discount. Keep your marks, keep your scores. Tomorrow we'll look at section 3 and 4 from this test, and then we can get our band scores at the very end of tomorrow's class. So I'll be back tomorrow with section 3 and section 4 from the same exam, okay? I think a lot of you did a great job. You hung in there. I know some of it was a bit tough. No worries. I think you did a fantastic job. Much love to all of you. Shanze, what was your question? I didn't see it, okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll try to catch some of your questions. Shanze says you missed my question. Sanjay, I didn't see it. I'll try to scroll back up here, find it. There's a lot of chatter going on. You said C, Sanjay. I see that, which was a good answer for that question. I don't see what your previous one was. Anyway, if I missed one of your critical questions, your concerns about IELTS or about this listening, hey, just send me an email. My email again is adrian@aehelp.com. That's it for me for today. See you tomorrow at the same time. Much love to all of you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a restful evening. If it's really late where you're at, then make sure to go to bed, get a good night's rest, start your day fresh tomorrow, and sweet dreams to you. Bye for now.